Welcome to the Sustainability and Strategy course. We are SFB Research. Over the last 15 years, we have helped companies develop and execute their sustainable strategies. And in this course, you will benefit from all this experience and expertise. Did you know that globally, 90% of business leaders say sustainability is important for their business? Yet only 17% of them has an effective implementation plan. More than one-third of the population is willing to pay more for sustainable products or services. And 82% is willing to wait at least one extra day for eco-friendly shipping. The business sector is going through a transformation, driven largely by the need to be more sustainable. Sustainability has become a strategic driver of competitive advantage. It is imperative that businesses incorporate sustainability into their strategies. There is simply no other way to do business. The question is, how do we do that? How does a business embrace sustainability as a strategic driver of competitive advantage? We will indeed explore many issues in this course. The course is organized around 5 modules. We start Module 1 with a big picture, where we examine 3 global sustainability challenges. These are climate change, population growth, and income inequality. In Module 2, we will learn about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and its importance as a sustainability framework for business. The business case for sustainability is examined in Module 3. The strategic perspectives are covered in Module 4, where we will learn about the strategic responses that the board may consider. Finally, in the last module, we cover the integration of sustainability into the strategic planning process. There is indeed a lot to learn. Once again, welcome to the course. Let us begin. Welcome to the Big Picture, Lecture 1. At the end of this lecture, you will be confident with one definition of sustainability. You will also be able to identify 3 areas which profoundly impact the sustainability challenges we see today. Sustainability is undoubtedly on the global agenda. It will be useful to clarify what we mean by corporate sustainability and sustainable development. These 2 ideas are linked in a number of ways, which we will explore throughout the course. In 1982, the United Nations provided a definition of sustainable development, which is widely used today. According to that definition, sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Pause for a minute and think about this definition. What strikes you most in this definition of sustainable development? Inherent in that definition is the idea that we should take care of the present and leave something sustainable for the next generation. Whatever we choose to do today, we have to ensure that we do it in a sustainable way, so that the next generations can benefit from what we are leaving behind. Academics have also studied corporate sustainability for many years. According to one definition, corporate sustainability is an integral approach to business aimed at enhancing competitive positioning and profitability through the sustained creation of shared value. Corporate sustainability involves co-creation practices with stakeholders, and it includes the integration of environmental, social, and governance factors in decision making. Notice how sustainability is linked to competitive advantage and shared value creation. In addition, the role of stakeholders and ESG factors are clearly emphasized in sustainable decision making. Let's review some recent extreme events which have all been linked to climate change. In January 2021, the city of Madrid in Spain experienced the worst snowstorm for 50 years. In February, strong winds from Mongolia caused a major sandstorm in Beijing and northern parts of China. Record-breaking temperatures lingered over Oregon during a historic heatwave at the end of June. In June, the San Gabriel Reservoir, located in the San Gabriel Mountains in the United States, was nearly empty due to severe drought conditions. In July, Canada experienced record temperatures, with the town of Lytton in British Columbia reaching a high of 49.6 degrees Celsius. Residents were evacuated as raging wildfires devastated the town. Here we see a man rides a makeshift raft in the middle of an inundated road in Nepal. The unseasonal rains brought flooding to many parts of Central Asia. This aerial picture shows a burnt forest in Siberia. Severe floods completely destroyed this area in Western Germany. The death toll from devastating floods in Europe exceeded 242, mostly in Western Germany, where emergency responders were frantically searching for missing people. Firefighters in Greece tried to prevent fires from destroying hundreds of homes on the island. In this course, we will adopt the definition of climate change by the United Nations. According to the UN, climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. UN experts suggest that human activities have driven the shifts in temperatures and weather changes. These experts further suggest that the burning of fossil fuels is the main cause of climate change. In other words, human activities that involve the burning of fossil fuels are the main causes of climate change. One legitimate question to ask is, why is there so much focus on fossil fuels? Analysis by the expert for the UN have found that the burning of fossil fuels generate greenhouse gases that act like a blanket wrapped around the Earth. This gas blanket traps the sun's heat and causes temperatures to increase. It is worth noting that carbon dioxide and methane are typically referred to when we discuss greenhouse gases. Other greenhouse gases are ozone, nitrous oxide, water vapor, and chlorofluorocarbons. Just because these solutions have been identified does not mean that they are being implemented. In fact, the transition adjustment period will be a painful one for many industries. With frequent storms and fires, the insurance sector will have to deal with rising claims. The oil and gas sector will be left with stranded assets as the world demands less fossil fuels. Pressure to reduce tailpipe emissions will see more demand for electric vehicles. Weather changes could impact yields and activity in the agricultural and food sectors. Stage 2 is understand the rationale, the why. Why does a company want to integrate sustainability into its business strategy? In this stage, companies conduct extensive stakeholder analysis, and they identify the risk of not doing anything on sustainability, as well as the opportunities presented by sustainability trends. It's like a high-level business case for sustainability. First, the company might start by identifying the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals which are relevant for its core business strategy. Let's, for example, it might decide that goal number 7, which is about affordable and clean energy, is an important topic for the world. Welcome to the Big Picture, Lecture 1. At the end of this lecture, you will be confident with one definition of sustainability. You will also be able to identify 3 areas which profoundly impact the sustainability challenges we see today. Sustainability is undoubtedly on the global agenda. It will be useful to clarify what we mean by corporate sustainability and sustainable development. These 2 ideas are linked in a number of ways, which we will explore throughout the course. In 1982, the United Nations provided a definition of sustainable development which is widely used today. According to that definition, sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Pause for a minute and think about this definition. What strikes you most in this definition of sustainable development? Inherent in that definition is the idea that we should take care of the present and leave something sustainable for the next generation. Whatever we choose to do today, we have to ensure that we do it in a sustainable way, so that the next generations can benefit from what we are leaving behind. Academics have also studied corporate sustainability for many years. According to one definition, corporate sustainability is an integral approach to business aimed at enhancing competitive positioning and profitability through the sustained creation of shared value. Corporate sustainability involves co-creation practices with stakeholders, and it includes the integration of environmental, social, and governance factors in decision-making. Notice how sustainability is linked to competitive advantage and shared value creation. In addition, the role of stakeholders and ESG factors are clearly emphasized in sustainable decision-making. There are indeed many factors to consider when we talk about sustainability. In this course, we will focus on 3 main areas that characterize the ongoing sustainability challenges that we face. We will therefore focus on the environment, the economy, and society at large. Over the years, a lot of people have worked very hard to understand the complex interactions between these 3 areas and their impact on development. Eventually, the world came together in 2015, and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals were established. The UN Sustainable Development Goals provide a powerful framework for business to develop long-term sustainable strategies. In addition to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the World Economic Forum produces an annual Global Risk Report, which is a global survey examining the risk that the world faces. In 2022, the major risk identified by the World Economic Forum largely centered around environmental risk. In fact, 5 out of the top 10 risks were related to the environment. Megatrend analysis also helps to identify critical drivers for business change. One such analysis identified 5 key megatrends for business to pay attention to. These are rapid urbanization, climate change, and resource scarcity, shift in global economic power, demographic and social change, technological breakthroughs. Companies need to have a good understanding of these megatrends to optimize their business strategies. Sustainability requires us to consider many complex, interconnected factors to make decisions. This complexity has given rise to the idea of systems thinking. Put simply, solutions to complex global problems require multi-stakeholder collaboration and thinking about the interrelationships among many factors. This idea becomes very apparent when we think about the UN global goals. There are 17 goals. If we think of these goals in isolation from each other, the chances of success are very low. Conversely, if we connect the dots and think of these goals in relation to each other, we are more likely to achieve a successful outcome for society. We have explored quite a few ideas. Let us recap. First, we learned that sustainability requires us to think about what we are leaving behind for the next generation. Second, we learned that the UN Sustainable Development Goals provide a guide for business to develop long-term sustainable strategies. Finally, we learned that thinking in systems help us to see the complex interactions between different UN goals, which in turn can maximize the chance of a successful outcome. This is the end of the lecture. Please complete the quiz before moving on to the next lecture. Thank you and see you in the next lecture.